What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Hump Day Wednesday afternoon so far. NYG Jeffy T at it again. And today I'm going to be talking about another young player that could be a player that can emerge in his second season for the New York Giants and try to help out that young secondary right now on the team, and could be a potential factor with more opportunities in front of him to make some type of impact going into the 2023 NFL season. And that, of course, is second-year safety out of the University of Iowa, Dane Belton. Belton, obviously, he was originally drafted back last year in round number 4 at pick 114 out of the University of Iowa, and the 6'1", 205-pound Dane Belton overall. He recorded 31 total tackles with 3 pass defenses, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries during the 2023 season, but he also dealt with numerous injuries during the season because of the fact he dealt with a shoulder injury during the beginning of training camp, caused him to miss a couple of games at the beginning of the season. Then he got a little bit lost in terms of his play. Pretty much was playing behind guys like Jason Pinnock and obviously starters last year, Julian Love and Xavier McKinney. And then Belton got more of an opportunity towards the end of the season, and you got to finally start seeing a little bit of that playmaking ability and aggressiveness of Belton going into the 2023 season. Pro Football Focus, though, did not look kindly upon how Belton performed last year in 2022, as they gave him a 30.6 overall defensive grade, including a 28.9 run defensive grade and a 40 coverage grade and a 47.2 pass rush grade. So obviously, he did the best in terms of being a pass rusher on the outside, which was actually one of the reasons why the New York Giants pretty much brought him in and drafted him in the 4th round to be one of those guys that can come off the edge in Wink Martindale's defense and be able to blitz off the edge and be a monster help for the New York Giants in terms of his outside rush. His saving grace, though, was his tackling. The one thing that we like about defensive backs is when the play is there, they're able to go out into the open field and make the open field tackle when it's in front of them, and he had a 71.3 open field tackling grade. That's what you look for a safety. If the linebackers and the defensive line are not able to make the play in the open field, you're looking for your defensive backs to go out there and make the open field tackle and not allow a wide receiver, a running back, or a tight end to break open in the open field. And Belton did a very good job overall in that, and he played in 375 defensive snaps with 85 qualified at the safety position. Belton also had a 9.4 missed tackle rate, which was ranked 27th in the NFL and is above average for the position, and ironically his 56.4 quarterback rating against was the 3rd best, which would seem to indicate that he was covered well. This is from Big Blue View overall. His 12.1 yards per reception allowed was tied for second worst, though. He obviously has to work on his better in terms of his coverage going into his second season. And his 4% forced incompletion rate was tied for 11th worst. And the quarterback rating had to do with his 2 interceptions, but not how he covered for the rest of the time. Obviously now, he obviously is a very good open field tackler. That's not a debate. He does a pretty good job when it comes to open field tackling for Big Blue. He just needs to do a better job in terms of his coverage. He needs to do a better job in terms of being able to recognize the pass in the air, and he needs to do a better job in terms of just his overall coverage going into his second season. He's still young enough, only 22 years old. And now, going into the 2023 NFL season, obviously we know what happened with the Giants. They obviously let Julian Love, last year's starting safety, go in free agency. He's now part of the Seattle Seahawks. Giants obviously brought in Bobby McCain, who was the safety last year with the Washington Commanders. He's now come onto the team, and he's taking over for that safety position for Big Blue. Giants also drafted Javarius Owens as well in the 7th round this past NFL draft, and they still have undrafted free agent Trenton Thompson, as well as they have All-Star or Pro Bowl safety Xavier McKinney back on the roster, and they still have Jason Pinnock, whom they acquired last year during the season from the New York Jets off their practice squad. He's now still part of the safety rotation. So Dane Belton is going to have to try and see if he can go out there during training camp and preseason to lock down either a starting position with Big Blue at the safety position or get himself a very good role in terms of a depth player going forward. And this is what Big Blue View has thrown out there in terms of the outlook for Dane Belton going into the 2023 NFL season. With the Giants' lack of quality depth at safety, Belton's roster spot is likely secure. However, Jason Pinnock figures to play a much larger role as a backup safety than Belton considering their respective performance last year. The team did draft Devarius Owens in the second round and also have Trenton Thompson on the roster, but Belton has a leg up on both because of his draft billing. Still, on a team that has a playoff aspirations, Belton will need to improve his overall game to avoid being bypassed, which I like. The Giants are not just going to award Dane Belton because he's a fourth-round pick last year, automatically just give him a draft, just give him a big-time role on this team just because he's a former fourth-round pick. No, he has to go out there and he has to earn his spot on this roster, and he has to go out there and play to a level where he's going to be deserving of the playing time during the 2023 NFL season, and he's not just going to be awarded that position because the fact of he's a former fourth-round pick in last year's draft. And that's the one thing I like about this coaching staff, one thing I like about Brian Daboll, the one thing I like about Joe Schoen and this Giants organization in terms of the coaching staff and the front office. They are not just going to reward players because of their draft pedigree. They're going to get these guys in there, see how they perform, and see how they're going to play. Plus, Belton dealt with some injuries last year, and like we mentioned, he was a guy that played a decent amount during the beginning of the season, but his playing time started to dissipate towards the end of the season. That is even with the injury to Xavier McKinney after he got hurt during the bye week and missed pretty much the entire second half of the season. And the Giants still went with guys like Jason Pinnock and other players over Dane Belton during his rookie season. Belton obviously is going to have the opportunity now to go out there and see what he can do in this second season for him. He's got the measurables, 6'1", 205 pounds. He's only 22 years old. He started showing some promise during the second half of his season towards the latter end. And he's been a good open field tackler, but he needs to do a better job in terms of his coverage and be more consistent to earn the type of playing time in Wink Martindale's defense that the Giants are looking for, and he needs to really take a step in his second season to warrant that playing time going into 2023 overall. But you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about Dane Belton and his outlook going into the second year of his career out of Iowa State, the former fourth-round pick at pick 144 in the 2022 NFL Draft. Hit that like button if you haven't already and give a sub to NYGJeffyT85. More news updates and chatter surrounding the New York Giants. And if you enjoy the video and enjoy the content, don't be afraid to hit a super thanks at the bottom of the video. Shows your appreciation for the channel and for the content creator. And always, like always, I tell you guys at the end of these videos, love the support and the feedback you always give me. And thank you so much for being here and helping my channel grow over the past year plus. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday. Take it easy, and as always, let's go New York Football Giants. Together Blue, everyone.